do you go from here with this report? Can you bring it together, or as Rhiannon said, produce a more holistic approach to transport that affects everybody here?
Well, I mean, absolutely it does. I mean, in fact, just picking up again, I think on Anthony's point and some of the other speakers, that the crucial role for the workforce, I think, is something we'd really want to highlight, and that's something we really would want to take forward and then have further discussions about and raise the awareness of. I mean, actually, you know, in fact, a little known fact is that more people commute to work by bus than all other forms of public transport combined. So
That
I think,
seems extraordinary.
I mean,
if anyone took the tube here, I'm sure.
No, I know, but it's actually it's huge numbers,
Yeah.
and I think this was like one of the big findings from the report. And actually, it's not, the bus isn't just helping people get to work, actually getting to more productive jobs. And we've got some interesting stats in the research that showed there's some 400,000 workers in better or more productive jobs than they would otherwise be were it not for the bus. So it's getting people to jobs and actually getting to better, more productive jobs. And I think that's one of the key messages we'd want to see taken from this research.
It's worth pointing out that in London, you mentioned the tube, and in London there are twice as number of passenger journeys on the bus in London than there are on the tube, and that's forgotten about. If I may say, I mean, one of the things about the customer satisfaction ratings that Passenger Focus independently do is they are actually very good. We have in some of our regions, such as in the North East, we have a consistent over 90% passenger satisfaction rate. Now that's not for complacency, but it just shows that once you actually get people on a bus, actually the satisfaction is pretty high. And those are the sorts of figures that anybody in other retail worlds would actually dream of getting. Our problem is often it's the decision makers who don't travel by bus, and it's trying to get people out of cars to travel by bus, who are still thinking about the bus as something that they were forced to go to school 30 years ago or what have you. And it's trying to overcome those sorts of ingrained beliefs that we have to do with this report, with decision makers and with other mode users.
It's clear that there's a role for the bus in terms of filling the local gaps between rail, metro and underground, etc. But the conversation I regularly have up and down the country with businesses is actually about the quality of the road network and how, I guess, congestion costs the economy about £8 million a year, and so how we can think about managing that, and also how we can sort of improve the quality of the local road network. That we have traffic's projected to go up by a third by about 2025. So how is it that we can manage that? And I guess their concern then is that poor sort of connectivity actually reduces their ability to make investment decisions to grow. And we find that about 3/4 of firms see domestic transport networks as quite central then to their businesses. So what we've been doing in terms of the sort of the lobbying we've been doing is saying, well, actually what we need from government is a sort of policy statement. We need to understand what their vision collectively is for roads and rail, so that actually then businesses can understand what the future looks like and how they would take investment decisions against that. And as with some of these things, they're always sort of stuck in the bottom drawer of somebody's desk in Whitehall, and they don't sort of move as quickly as possible. And I guess that causes quite a lot of angst.